Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to reflect upon one of the most profound mysteries in modern aviation history: the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. This isn't just the story of a missing aircraft. It's a narrative that challenges our understanding of technology, our trust in systems, and our comprehension of the world we live in. Let me take you back to that fateful night of March 8, 2014. The scene at Kuala Lumpur International Airport was routine, almost mundane. Passengers checked in, families said their goodbyes, and the experienced crew prepared for what should have been a standard overnight flight to Beijing. The aircraft itself, a Boeing 777-200ER, represented the pinnacle of modern aviation technology: reliable, sophisticated, and trusted by airlines worldwide. As the plane climbed through the Malaysian night sky, everything appeared normal. The cockpit crew made their final routine communication. "Good night, Malaysian 370. These would be the last words anyone would ever hear from Flight MH370. What happened next would launch one of the most extensive investigations in human history and leave questions that remain unanswered to this day. The disappearance unfolded in stages, each more baffling than the last. First, the aircraft vanished from civilian radar screens over the South China Sea. Then came the shocking revelation from Malaysian military radar. The plane had made a dramatic turn back across the Malaysian peninsula, flown northwest past Penang, and then embarked on a southern route into one of the most remote regions of our planet. The investigation that followed revealed a sequence of events that seemed almost orchestrated. The aircraft's transponder was deliberately disabled. The Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS, was systematically shut down. Yet the satellite data unit remained active, performing its automated handshakes with Inmarsat satellites for 7 hours after the plane disappeared from radar. These electronic handshakes became the crucial clues in our mystery. Through painstaking analysis of the Doppler effect on these signals, investigators determined the aircraft had flown along what became known as the Seventh Arc, a narrow corridor stretching deep into the southern Indian Ocean. This remote region, characterized by violent storms and depths exceeding 4,000 meters, became the focus of an unprecedented international search effort. The scale of the search operation was monumental. For nearly 3 years, vessels from multiple nations combed over 120,000 square kilometers of seabed. They used advanced side-scan sonar, autonomous underwater vehicles, and every available technological resource. They mapped underwater mountains and discovered shipwrecks lost for centuries, but the main wreckage of Flight MH370 remained elusive. Then, beginning in 2015, the ocean began to yield its first clues. A flaperon washed ashore on Réunion Island. Other confirmed fragments followed on the coasts of Madagascar, Tanzania, and South Africa. Each discovery provided confirmation that the aircraft had met its end in the ocean, yet none offered explanation for why or how this tragedy occurred. The official investigation concluded in 2018 with more questions than answers. While evidence suggested the aircraft's diversion was due to manual inputs, the fundamental question of what caused this deviation remains unanswered. Was it pilot action? Mechanical failure? Fire? Hijacking? Each theory has its proponents, but without the critical evidence of the flight recorders, we remain in the realm of speculation. The human dimension of this tragedy cannot be overstated. For the families of the 239 people on board, this has been a decade of unimaginable suffering. They've endured not only the loss of their loved ones but the torture of not knowing what happened. Their grief remains suspended, unable to find closure or peace. Yet from this tragedy must come progress. The aviation industry has implemented crucial changes since 2014: improved tracking requirements, enhanced satellite communications, and better emergency locator technology. But we must ask ourselves, is this enough? Can we truly say that such a disappearance could never happen again? This brings me to our call to action. We cannot allow the mystery of Flight MH370 to fade into the archives of unsolved cases. We owe it to the victims, their families, and future generations of air travelers to continue the search for answers. This requires several commitments. First, we must support continued scientific research and exploration in the southern Indian Ocean. New technologies and methodologies may yet reveal what previous searches could not find. Second, we must advocate for the implementation of real-time data streaming from commercial aircraft, ensuring that critical flight information is continuously transmitted to ground stations. Third, we must maintain international cooperation and funding for aviation safety initiatives, recognizing that air travel is a global enterprise that requires global solutions. Finally, we must never forget the human stories behind this tragedy. The 239 people on board were not just passengers, they were mothers, fathers, children, friends, and colleagues with dreams, aspirations, and loved ones who continue to mourn their loss. As we reflect on this decade-long mystery, let us remember that the pursuit of truth is one of humanity's noblest endeavors. The oceans may be vast, but our determination to understand, to improve, and to prevent future tragedies must be even greater. The story of Flight MH370 is not complete. The final chapter remains to be written, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure it contains the truth, the closure, and the lessons that can make air travel safer for everyone. The memory of those lost demands nothing less, and our shared humanity requires nothing less. Chapter 2. The Unanswered Questions and Our Collective Responsibility. 8 years after the official search was suspended, the mystery of Flight MH370 continues to haunt the aviation industry and the global consciousness. While the world has moved on, the families of the 239 souls on board remain suspended in a state of perpetual uncertainty, their grief compounded by the absence of closure. This chapter addresses the critical questions that remain unanswered and issues a powerful call to action for the global community. The central question, what caused the deviation of MH370, remains shrouded in mystery. Despite extensive analysis, the official investigation could only conclude that the aircraft's change of course was likely due to manual intervention. This vague terminology encompasses a range of possibilities, from deliberate human action to catastrophic system failure, yet provides no definitive answers. The absence of the flight data and cockpit voice recorders means we may never know what transpired in the aircraft's final hours. The search efforts, while unprecedented in scale, revealed significant limitations in our ability to locate objects in the deep ocean. The designated search area, though vast, was based on probabilistic models that, despite their sophistication, could not account for every variable. The discovery of debris on distant shorelines confirmed the aircraft's fate but also highlighted the immense challenge of reverse engineering a crash site from scattered fragments. This raises an urgent question. In an era of advanced technology, why did we fail to locate the main wreckage? Here lies our collective call to action. We cannot allow the lessons of MH370 to fade into obscurity. The aviation industry must prioritize the development and implementation of real-time tracking technology for all commercial aircraft. While initiatives like the Global Aeronautical Distress and Safety System, GADSS, represent progress, they are not enough. We need tamper-proof, continuous data streaming that ensures no aircraft can ever disappear without a trace again. Furthermore, the search for MH370 must not be abandoned. Governments, private entities, and the international community must collaborate to fund and support renewed search efforts. Recent advances in underwater drone technology and satellite imagery analysis offer new hope. Companies like Ocean Infinity have demonstrated the potential of private-public partnerships in resuming the search with greater efficiency and lower costs. We must rally behind such initiatives, advocating for the allocation of resources to finally solve this mystery. The families of the victims deserve closure. Their relentless pursuit of the truth is a testament to the enduring human spirit. We must amplify their voices, ensuring that their call for answers is heard in the halls of power worldwide. Social media campaigns, public petitions, and international advocacy can maintain pressure on relevant authorities to keep the investigation active. In conclusion, the story of MH370 is not just a tragedy, it is a catalyst for change. Let us honor the memory of those lost by demanding better technology, better protocols, and unwavering commitment to truth. The ocean may be vast, but our resolve must be vaster. Join the movement for aviation safety. Support organizations advocating for continued search efforts. Hold leaders accountable. Together, we can ensure that no family ever has to endure such uncertainty again. The final chapter of MH370 has yet to be written, and it is our responsibility to ensure it ends with truth and justice.